Hello friends, here's Ulrike Sophia, your full-time intimacy activist from exploringdeeper.com, and you're watching another episode of Debunking Love Songs. We all grew up with love songs surrounding us and fairy tales and movies, and they give us an image of relating that often is not that healthy. So what I want to do in this series is take some songs that most of us know and take a closer look at them. And today we're going to look at toxic relationships based on the song by Sinead O'Connor called Nothing Compares to You. You may know it. And at first when I was listening to this song when I was younger, I could just not quite grasp it. It was like, yes, this is a song of a sad woman, and maybe you've seen the video clip where she is like, you see this black and white and you see this tear rolling down her cheek. But I always felt like something is a little bit off and I cannot quite put my finger on it, which is exactly my experience of dysfunctional relationships, of toxic relationships. It's like on the outside it looks normal. It may even look really good and really romantic, but something is a bit off. Something's not quite right. So let's have a little look at this song and see where we go. And I must say, this is a very complex song, not just the theme, but also the playing of it. And you may know I'm not a professional musician. On the contrary, I have dealt with huge fear of singing and playing in public. So this is a bit a test for me as well. But let's do it. It's been 7 hours and 15 days since you took your love away. I go out every night and sleep all day since you took your love away. So far, we're listening to a very sad woman who's grieving her lover leaving her, who took his love away. So he kind of like left her, abandoned her. That's how it sounds like, and she's very sad. But then this part comes. Since you've been gone, I can do whatever I want. I can see whomever I choose. I can eat my dinner in a fancy restaurant, but nothing, I said, nothing can take away this blues, 'cause nothing compares to you. So now she's singing, I can see whoever I choose, as if when she was with him, she couldn't. That there was something going on that prevented her from actually seeing whoever she wanted to see. And she says, I can eat my dinner in a fancy restaurant. It also implies that this was something she couldn't do before. And then she says, nothing can take away my blues. Nothing compares to you. Which on the one hand can be, of course, this can be this grieving person, but in toxic relationships, I get the feeling this was a toxic relationship where potentially her partner was on the narcissistic side of things, because when that happens, when it's that, when there is that power dynamic, that polarity happening, and one person is more on the narcissistic side and the other person is more on the other side of things, the person who is like on the other side of things can like really idolize, like making the person who's making themselves bigger like the perfect partner. And when I'm listening to this song, I get the feeling that she has her ex-partner on this pedestal and like making him perfect, like now you're gone, everything's wrong and nothing compares to you. It will never be like it was with you. All right, next part. It's been so lonely without you here, like a bird without a song. And this is another clue, actually. She said, and then she says, tell me, baby, where did I go wrong? And this is another cue of something that happens a lot in these power dynamic relationships, where one person has the other person on a pedestal, is also this huge self-doubt, is that whenever something's wrong, whatever is going on, they always take the blame. And maybe they're always given the blame by the partner, like, you're wrong. And this is what she's doing. It's like, he's gone and she's taking the full blame, like, what did I do wrong? I could put my arms around every boy I see, but they only remind me of you. I went to the doctor and guess what he told me? Guess what he told me? He said, girl, you tried to find fun. He said, girl, you better try to have fun no matter what you do. But he's a fool, 'cause nothing compares to you. So she did go to doctor. Smart move. And the doctor said, whatever you do, try to have fun. And that also sounds to me like someone, like this person in, in a position that's not in the relationship, that says, okay, have fun, take good care of yourself, which could be, an advice to anyone who breaks up. And maybe even more when a doctor, who probably knows her a bit, knows that she needs that self-care. And then she's dismissing it. She's dismissing this doctor's advice, saying he's a fool, because nothing compares to you. All the flowers that you planted, mother. All the flowers that you planted, mother, in the backyard, all died when you went away. I know that living with you, baby, was sometimes hard, but I'm willing to give you another try. So, at the end of the song, she says all the flowers died. Maybe she pulled them out. Maybe they died because the flowers were as sad as she was. And then she says, I know that living with you is sometimes hard, which to me, again, points at this power dynamic. And then she says, but I'm willing to give it another try. Which, again, to me, points at toxic relating. Because especially when it's like egoist, which is the opposite of narcissist, and narcissist, that dynamic, it's super hard to let go. It's super hard to step out of. And maybe you find yourself in a relationship like that, where you are always the person making themselves small and your partner is always making themselves bigger. And you find yourself at some point in your life wondering, like, what of all that I've created around me, what was like really my conscious choice? Where did I choose for these things? And where did I go along with the choices of my partner? And maybe you're on the other side. Maybe you're like, yeah, I know I am, I've got strong will, and, someone has to stand their ground very firmly to make me decide otherwise. So maybe you could recognize yourself in being the person who's making themselves big and always attracting people who make themselves smaller. And these dynamics are pretty difficult to work through. You can, if both acknowledge where they are and if both are willing to step forward and step backward and meet each other in the middle and, let go a bit of their old patterns. But it's very hard. And if you find yourself in a relationship with a narcissist, it can be really hard to actually get out of it. What I've learned in my life is that when you are relating with someone who is more on the narcissistic side than you are, if they are not willing to look at themselves, when they're always blaming you for everything, and there's no willingness to be compassionate and to be like, let me look at my part. When there's nothing like that, it won't change. And the only thing you can do is, take yourself out of the equation and find better people to relate with. And you have to break the addiction. There is this addiction inside the relationship that you have to break out of, and that can be super hard. So if you are in a situation like that and you are trying to step out of a relationship, a toxic relationship like that, find support. Go to your doctor, find friends, find people that you can call instead of your ex or your relationship to break through those patterns. So I hope that was helpful. And if you like more of these videos, there's more videos like these and more to come. So please like this, put some comments out there. Please don't be too critical of my singing this time, because this was a really difficult song. But see you again next time, and I am grateful for being on this path with you all. Take care. Mwah.